And here we go, five fans, moving on tonight. This next bout, 3 rounds in the welterweight division. Entering the cage first, fighting out of the blue corner. From Worcester, England, Piotr Ptasinski.
Right. And here is Iron Piotr Ptasinski. He is representing the Trojan Free Fighters and brings a 3-1 record. He's looking to recover from a loss to Kevin Reed, a very tough journeyman, and he is fired up for this contest. Only been training for 2 years and brings a very Polish style of mixed martial arts, so I'm told. He really likes the waves that Mamed Khalidov has been making for Poland and Eastern Europe. Tonight, he is looking to surprise his opponent. He's been working very much on the striking arts and predicts a 3-round war.
Yeah, 3-round war would perhaps be a bit of a change for him. This guy really is a fast starter, and you know, as you said, he is coming off that loss in June, but all the rest of his wins, John, coming very orderly fashion in the first round. A couple of TKOs and a solid armbar victory, so fairly well-rounded is the man from Team Trojan. He's got a couple of monsters in his corner, the likes of Chico Mendes. It's going to be great support here for him tonight.
Paul Sutherland, obviously the head coach at Trojan Free Fighters. And they looked in buoyant mood this afternoon as I shared a few moments with Piotr. Asked them if there are any issues with this Polish matchup, 2 fighters hailing from Poland, and he wasn't having any of it. It was just a war between 2 athletes.
I think one thing we can also expect with an all-Polish matchup here is a lot of crowd support.
Entering the cage next, fighting out of the red corner from London, England, Jacek Toczydlowski.
And it's great to welcome back Jacek Toczydlowski. He is representing the MMA clinic in London and comes with a 4-2 record. Now Jack, as he is known to his teammates and his coaching staff, has just adopted the new fight name of Hussar, is what they called the 16th, 17th century heavy cavalry regiment, and tonight he is fully prepared to go to battle with his fellow countrymen. He's returning to action after grounding out a win against the very durable Shah Hussein, and Jack has been working hard on his cardio, which perhaps suffered a little bit in that outing.
Yeah, one thing we know from seeing Jack's previous performances, he's got very good striking, but also very good wrestling. His clinch work up against the cage is absolutely phenomenal. Once he connects to his opponent's hips, really starts to get his weight underneath, you can look for a lot of very high amplitude takedowns from the Polish man here.
He actually came into this sport with a background in full contact Oyama karate and some boxing as well. He has since paired that with strong wrestling, making him a very well-rounded fighter.
Once again, five fans, this bout scheduled for 3 rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist standing 6 feet even, weighing in 169 1/4 pounds. His professional record stands 3 victories and 1 defeat. From Worcester, England, here is Iron Piotr Ptasinski. And next is opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist standing 5 feet 11 inches tall. Official weight 170 pounds even. As a professional, his record 4 victories and 2 defeats. Fighting out of, representing London, England, here is Jacek Toczydlowski. Referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard, the referee for this welterweight showdown. We have Piotr Ptasinski in the white, with Jack Toczydlowski in the blue.
Wow, the crowd are starting to get loud in here, John. A lot of support for the man from the MMA clinic.
I think I've actually heard quite a few cries from the Gloucestershire man as well, Josh. So both guys well supported. Nice head movement there from Jack.
Oh, lovely technical striking exchange to open this bout from both guys, keeping very nice guard, good head movement, good combinations of strikes. I think we're in for a cracker here, John.
Oh, absolutely. Both of these guys recognised that they were entering into war this evening. And what a fantastic stage to have such a fight.
Yeah, Piotr landed good kick off his combinations there. Oh, and good counter-punching as well as Jacek came forward. Oh!
Stop, Kevin, no, don't stop. Listen, stop. Listen, stop, time. Don't call your own time out if I can't see it, you understand me? Listen, bro, listen. Don't call your own time out if I can't see it, you understand? Turn round.
I hope you guys can hear the instructions there from Mark Goddard.
Not on the balls, no, not on the balls, ready, let's go.
He does not feel that that was a low blow and has encouraged the fighters to engage. So very sportingly of Peter to back off from Jack.
Yeah, I think he realised that might have been low. Let's see if that fires Toczydlowski up a bit, though.
Peter looking very strong, and I like the way that he's using combinations, setting up kicks.
It's so crisp. He really is mixing up all his available weapons. What I liked in the exchanges before the knee was as he moved backwards, he landed a couple of very nice jabs right on the button.
Look at the counter-punching there from Peter. Very nice indeed. Really good footwork on the outside.
Both these guys have got a chin on them, though. They're both eating some huge shots. Neither one able to off-balance the other one just yet, though.
Jack told me that his toughest fight to date was, in fact, that Cage Warriors debut against Shah Hussein. But this looks like it's going to be just as grueling. He has, in fact, fought our main event fighter, Aaron Wilkinson.
What a combination that was. Spinning back fist into a front kick or a teep. Great combinations coming by the fighter from Team Trojan.
Oh, lovely combination there from Jack.
Wow, that's fantastic counter-punching. Both guys are throwing some really beautiful combinations, and both are finding the mark.
Jack responding well to the earlier assaults of Iron Piotr Ptasinski.
You said in the intro, John, that Ptasinski wanted a 3-round stand-up war. This first round is all of that and more.
So both fighters pretty much standing toe-to-toe in the centre of the cage and teeing off on one another. Peter is popping, slipping and moving on the outside. But every now and then, Jack is nailing him with a good, strong right hand.
Oh, again, he tries the spinning back fist, just finding the mark.
I'm now remembering the words that Peter said to me, where he is looking to surprise Jack. And with those spinning back flicks, it looks like he's successful in that.
Oh, that's you don't often see, 4 or 5 punch combinations finished with knees and low kicks as they're doing. These are really excellent displays of striking from both men here.
Inside the last 1 minute 20 of this round. Also, Josh, they're throwing with 80–90% power with every strike.
Yeah, Jacek tried to counter that kick, followed it back well with the double leg attempt, however, just a bit too far away. The defense of Ptasinski a bit too sharp on that occasion, but it shows the intention of the man from the MMA clinic to try and score the odd takedown here.
And Peter looks to have taken that centre spot in this cage as he builds his confidence as we get very deep into this first round here in London. 30 seconds left, and both fighters are still hitting this with furious pace and power.
Again with the front kick, finding the mark. Not pushing Jacek back too far, though. Seeing a bit of damage on the face of Toczydlowski now.
Last 10 in this opening round. The bloodied nose of Jack staring across at Peter, who puts together a very impressive first round.
Yeah, what a fantastic round from both fighters, John. It's going to be Really very interesting to see how the judges score that, and I'm very curious to know what's going to be going on in the corner of Toczydlowski. Do you think this game plan's working for him here, John?
Well, I think what he's bringing to the cage this evening is just an increased pace. I'm not sure if they looked at Jack's last outing here at Cage Warriors and thought that he was a little laboured, but they really tried to push the pace early. But, you know, I don't mean to try and sort of tar everyone with the same brush, but a lot of the Polish fighters that we're seeing on the London scene and across the UK, they're just so hardy. They take so much punishment, and they're so full of fights that I don't see Jack backing down. He's always going to come forward.
I think hardy is a fantastic way of describing it, John. We just saw the corner of Piotr Ptasinski giving him a high five, psyching him up for this round.
What a great first round. And we're into the second at the HMV Forum, Kentish Town, London, for the 10th anniversary of Cage Warriors, the 48th show. John Gooden and Josh Palmer providing the commentary. And it's a pleasure when we get fights like this to call.
I do like that right low kick.
Really nice finish to the combination.
Yeah, he really steps across and drives deep into the thigh of Toczydlowski, and he sets it up with the hands so well. It's very hard for the man from MMA Clinic to see it coming and get any kind of defensive check in.
I've said it many times in commentary at various levels of shows. You need to set up these strikes, certainly the kicks. There aren't many guys out there that can just throw single kicks. Leg kicks aside, perhaps, but when you set it up with the hands, it can disguise it so well. They become so much more effective, and we can certainly see that here this evening.
Some nice counter-punching now from Ptasinski. He's waiting for Toczydlowski to throw, following him back, managing to land in those dead space areas as Toczydlowski withdraws his punches.
Jack is looking bloodied and swollen in this second round. Very big heart, though.
See how this affects his breathing. A lot of blood coming from the nose of Jacek Toczydlowski now.
With a boxing background, he would have been used to taking quite a lot of punishment to the nose. However, as these fights get more and more important, it may well play a mental factor.
And these are 4-ounce gloves these shots are being landed with, John.
Oh, for sure. The Trojan free fighters are calling for their man to keep his guard high. Jack is still very dangerous.
Mixing up the inside and outside low kicks now. We can hear the corner of Toczydlowski saying, we're going to start to wrestle now. Let's start closing the distance, putting him on the fence. I think that's a smart move on their part.
Yes, maybe some risks need to be taken by the MMA Clinic fighter. Close that distance.
Yeah, he's got to follow that low kick back and really just try and drive to the fence.
We've seen Jack do ever so well when he's been in the top position and grinding out victories. He seems to be content to stand and trade with the Trojan free fighter. However, he's on the end of some damage at the moment.
He certainly is, John, losing the stand-up battle here, I fear for him. Blood from the nose and cuts under both eyes.
2 minutes left of this second round. And Jack needs to do something to turn this fight around. Seeing and smelling the blood is Piotr Ptasinski, and it's only going to encourage him to keep coming forward.
Jack is finding a home for...
Oh, nice feint there for the jab. Right hand through the defences of Jack.
Yeah, he's landing the odd strike here and there, but it's nothing near the consistency and power. And again, we see the combinations. That straight 1-2 right low kick is coming thundering in over and over again with little sign of defense from Toczydlowski. Switching it up, going to the body on the left side now.
The MMA Clinic are keen for Jack to try and pick that leg when the right leg kick is thrown in. he needs to look for ways to get this down to the mat and find the measure of his opponents, because at the moment he's certainly he's losing these exchanges.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, John. We're moving into the last minute here, and even if he were to land a takedown now, how much time is he really going to have to work? Is he going to be able to really swing the judges? Because so far this round, the pace has really been turned up by Iron Piotr Ptasinski.
If Peter can make it out of... Sorry, if Jack can make it out of this round, his corner have a lot of work to do to get him in the right mental state to start taking some of those risks. Really nice vocabulary of punches from Peter. Last 10 seconds.
I've got to say, I like how calm Toczydlowski is still staying. He's still trying to throw in combinations himself, keeping his guard reasonably tight.
No knockdowns, but certainly a lot of forward pressure there from Peter. And if I was being harsh, you could argue for a 10-8 round there, possibly, Josh.
Yeah, arguments could certainly be made, John. It really was a lot of one-way traffic in that second round.
The lovely Brooklyn showing us that we're about to get into round 3. The Cutman doing some work on Jack as well. Battered and bruised, possibly disheartened.
Well, mentally, he's a very tough individual. Also has a very, very high IQ. Does Toczydlowski, a very smart and learned human being. He knows the situation he's in here. But he might need a few words of encouragement just to push him in the right direction. I think he's got to look for a finish in this third round.
Let's go.
I think he needs to poleaxe the pole, Josh, if he's going to creep back into this. He needs a finish. I don't think there's any doubt in that. Here it is, the third and final round. Mark Goddard making sure that everything is set. And here it is, the crowd really behind this contest. And there we see the first attempt of sorts from Jack to close that distance into the clinch.
Yeah, just looking for the upper body tie-ups. It's going to be tough to get past those piston-like arms of Ptasinski. And of course they are fairly sweaty now as we're in the third round. It'll be interesting to see if Jack tries to adopt those upper body ties, tries to drive back to the cage, or opts for the lower leg attacks like he did earlier in the second round.
Jack needs to show a little bit more movement, which will promote some of the avoidance and defensive strategies. At the moment, it's Peter with all of the movement. He's moving his head. He looks like he's trying to slip any proposed attacks. Jack is not moving his head nearly enough. His feet are very much planted. And that's allowing Peter to get off his strikes. Cries of Jacek are ringing around the Kentish Town HMV Forum. And they need to be louder because their man is behind on the cards. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's got a busted nose as well.
They're trying to buoy him up, John, but at the moment, it's Piotr Ptasinski still pushing forward, starting to get fancy with the footwork, flicking up the front kicks now. He's been so good at mixing up his strikes throughout this entire bout. It's very easy to see how he's keeping Toczydlowski guessing at what strikes are going to come his way.
Exactly that. It's just the unpredictability factor. Oh, and a big right hand really clips Jack's jaw. How sturdy is the MMA Clinic fighter? In really
so
good condition.
Unbelievably tough. I mean, clearly he's tired and he is bloodied and he is damaged. You know, but he's still in there. He's still keeping his stance and his guard.
Inside kick.
Still with some movement.
Outside kick. Straight lefts.
He's really letting the fellow Polish man start teeing off now, really dictate the pace and get his shots off first.
Peter is chipping away at the defences of Jack. And shoot is the cry of Rich Mitchell in the corner of Jack. Oh, and these combinations are
4-punch combination ended with a low kick, all of them landing.
In the third round as well, Josh. Very impressive display from Peter, and now I know why the Trojan Free Fight camp were in such a good mood earlier. They knew they had the measure of the MMA clinic. And still the proud following of the London man cry his name as he absorbs more punishment.
He did manage to check that kick, but it's probably a little bit too late to save the spring in those legs now. Did find a home for a combination of his own, but it really is a lot of one-way traffic here.
It would be interesting to see some stats on the number of punches thrown and landed from both fighters. It's been a bit of a striking masterclass, I'm afraid to say. I'm a big fan of Jack's, but tonight he just hasn't been allowed to get started. And that we've got to give testament to the abilities of the man from the Trojan Free Fighters.
I think the thing that I'm really liking, apart from the variation in strikes and the constant persistence and work rate, is really the willingness to throw these huge and lengthy combinations. You know, we very often see single shots, sometimes 2 or 3, but we're seeing 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combinations now as he really starts to get the upper hand.
Throwing feints as well, Josh. Just growing in confidence. Oh, lovely straight kick, almost like a karate maigeri. And it's the first time that we've really seen Jack try and shoot in.
Yeah, let's see if he hits an inside leg trip off this, but the body lock just not there, getting straight off the cage. Has that broken?
Last 10 seconds in the fight. Peter smells victory. And he's still coming forward.
Wow.
What a well-measured display that was from Piotr Ptasinski.
Early fight of the night contender for sure there, John.
Very, very good. Certainly performance of the night, no doubt. And the Trojan Free Fighters will be very pleased with the shift that their man has just put in. Jacek, Hussar, Toczydlowski just didn't get started and was on the end of some sometimes quite brutal strikes.
Okay, guys, centre. Centre. Good fight, man.
Mark Goddard has called the fighters to the centre of the cage as we await our MC to collect the data and tell us who has won this contest. Very well done. Lots of heart, courage and determination for both fighters, but we have to wait no longer as I hand over to Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges have it 30-27. Your winner by unanimous decision, Iron Piotr Ptasinski.
Very well done to both fighters for that display, but it's time to hear from our winner. He's with Josh.
I'm here with our winner, Piotr. What a fight, an early contender for fight of the night, for sure. How surprised were you that Jacek didn't go down in any of those 3 rounds? Because you hit him with everything but the kitchen sink.
Yes, I go to the fight with very good game plan. I was trying to keep this game plan and everything was working, you know, okay.
You threw a vast array of strikes. How much time do you spend on your striking and trying to mix those combinations up?
Lots of time with Paul, with John, with Rich and Dan, all other guys. Lots of hours.
How is it having all the Polish crowd support in the house here tonight?
Polish crowd is awesome. Dziękuję. And I want to thank you for all my family watching me on Facebook, my 2 brothers, and everyone from my family. Thank you.
It's a very strong team you've got at Trojan Free Fighters. I'm sure they're watching you back in the gym. Give us a few words for them.
See you Monday on the gym, on training, guys.
Well, no rest for you. A fantastic performance. Can't wait to see you back here on Cage Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause for your winner, Iron Piotr Ptasinski.